Oh, well, now, greetings and salutations to you all once again. It is I, the Ravenous Spectre, and this afternoon we're actually going to be doing a little bit more of a pickups video. And one of the games that I have is actually one of those classic RPGs or JRPGs of some of those previous videos that I've been making. But I decided just to go ahead and just do these all at once, you know, to just, well, I didn't want to just do coverage over one specific classic game that I had gotten. But we'll just go ahead and start with that first, and that is the first Wild Arms here. I remember when I used to have this back in the day. I really did like it. I've always liked the Wild Arms series. The only downside to this is the fact that it has, it doesn't have the instruction booklet, which definitely sucks. But, I mean, you know, you can always go and print it out or go and find somebody who wants to sell it. And this is one of those cases where, I don't know why, but back in the day, I think I had mentioned this in some of my other videos, pickups videos, where they ended up having some of these cases. It looked like they would be double cases, but they're not. They just have one disc in them. And yeah, the disc looks like really, really good. And the thing that gets to me is like, dude, why? I think they were trying to do that because of the fact they thought that, oh, our game is just going to be so incredible and so amazing that we need to put it into something that would actually handle multiple discs, but we only got one disc in it. So yeah, I don't know. Unless like the instruction booklet was incredibly thick, I really don't think that was the case. But it might have been. I'm not really sure, considering it's not in there. But yeah, definitely a classic. I'm going to get back to playing this again. Always liked the Wild Arms series. Never finished any of them, but I do need to get Wild Arms 5 again. And that's the only one that I know of besides the strategy RPG that's on the PSP, which I don't really like strategy RPGs too much. But anyways, yeah, definitely glad to end up having that back in the collection. And the next one we have here is, actually the next two that we have here, Best Buy ended up having a deal that was going on where basically I was paying like $8 and some cent for these Switch games. And they were actually like $10 a piece, but like with my GCU membership, it ended up knocking some extra money off. And the first one that we got here is The Blob 2. This is kind of like one of those colorful, like platformer kind of games. I actually had this digitally on PS3 some years back, and I believe it was like dirt cheap, and so I tried it out, and it was really fun for what it was. But I thought to myself, for $8 for a physical copy, yeah, I was like, I was going to go ahead and go for it, because it is a really colorful and kooky kind of game, and I really thought my fiance would like it as well, so I went ahead and got it. And I would have got the first one as well, because it was also on sale, but I didn't know that, because they didn't have it listed at that point in time when I was looking at the sale, so I missed out on it. But they had a lot of different Switch games that were like $10 a piece, and yeah, they sold out pretty freaking fast. The next one that we have here that I also got for $8 was Sphinx and the Cursed Mummy. I actually have this on the original Xbox. Some friends of mine used to have this back in the day, and they played it and they really liked it. I never gotten around to playing it myself or trying it out or anything like that, but I've seen a lot of info on it, and the fact that I managed to end up getting this dirt cheap like this is just amazing to me, and it makes it much more easier for me to get into playing it, considering the fact that I don't have to hook up the original Xbox and play it. And it's funny because even though I got this one and I got the original Xbox one, I haven't played either one of them. I've had the original Xbox one for the longest time now, and I got that one because I heard the graphics were actually a lot better than it was on the PS2 version. So, but now here it is on the Switch, and I'm sure the graphics are even better than on the original Xbox. So, looking forward to getting into this one too. The next one we have here is a game that my fiance had been wanting a whole lot, and it's also on Switch, and I ended up finding it on sale. Best Buy had it for on sale for, I think, like, I believe it was like $47 and some cent, but with GCU, it knocked it down to like $41 and some cent. And you know how Nintendo first-party titles are. You can't ever get them on discount. You can't ever get them on sales. Once in a blue moon, you'll see a sale for them, and if they are on sale, you're not going to have too much knocked off of the regular price, which I really wish Nintendo would change that. I don't understand why. It's like, oh, we know what type of quality we put in our products, so we're not going to drop down our prices any. Yeah, a lot of other games have a lot of great quality in them too, but that doesn't mean that they keep them at $60 the whole freaking time. That's one of the things that I don't like about Nintendo. They don't know the meaning of sales. They have some digital sales on their eShop and whatnot, but they never even bother to do it much with physical stuff, which kind of irks me. But anyways, that game is ARMS, and yeah, there was some mixed feelings about this from a lot of different people, but she was actually playing it last night. It seemed like she really liked it and got into it, and I've yet to actually play it myself and get into playing it with her. and whatnot, but there isn't really anything on the inside. It's just the instructions on how to actually control, and obviously it's not in the case because it's in the Switch. But anyways, yeah, I was finally glad to manage to pick this up, and it was really funny watching her play when she was like punching back and forth and moving around and all this other stuff. So it was definitely a show to watch, not only for the fact of watching her play and watching the game itself, but watching how she reacted to it, especially considering the fact that you got to be in motion to be able to use this, because it's like you're actually boxing and punching and so on and so forth. The next one that we have here is a couple GameCube games, a couple of them one of them in particular that I've really been looking to get. Both of them are loose, by the way. Check out my previous video regarding loose games and complete in-box games. But I ended up getting this at like a game store. I forgot exactly how much I had paid for them, but when I ended up checking the prices for them loose, it was actually really fair. So the first one that we have here is Lost Kingdoms. This is kind of like, it's a RPG, but it kind of uses like card-based kind of combat in a ways, I believe. I don't really know too much about it on those terms, but I've seen more than enough footage and read more than enough reviews to really kind of get into the fact like, hey, I really want to end up picking this up. So yeah, definitely glad to end up having that. This has been one of those GameCube titles that I really have been wanting to get. And the next one that we have here is another RPG, but it's actually two RPGs in one. And I have the first one on Dreamcast. I can't remember if I have the second one on Dreamcast or not. If I have both of them, well, I just ended up getting both of these games again, but on a different platform, but they're all on one disc. And that is Evolution Worlds. Really unique kind of JRPGs that came out on the Dreamcast. Never really I didn't really play too much of the second one, but I played a good bit of the first one. And knowing that I had found this on GameCube, I was like, oh, great. And the thing was that I think it was probably like $7 or $8 too. So I was like, two JRPGs from the Dreamcast era on the GameCube for like $7 or $8. I couldn't go wrong with that. But the last one that we have here is Final Fantasy 15 Royal Edition, and yes, I already have this. That's some pretty badass cover art. Yes, I already have this. I got it on day one when it first came out, but I thought to myself, after all was said and done, I think I really made a mistake in picking this particular one up because of all the DLC that it got in it, and you know how I am about the whole DLC BS, but I thought everything was going to be on the disc, but it wasn't. It was on a season pass that was inside of this thing, and from what I've heard, this game is supposed to get like 1 or 2 other season passes or something like that, which is absolutely ridiculous and just stupid to me. But I paid like $23 and some cent for it, and then I thought to myself, man, if I knew it was just going to be the season pass inside of it, that really would have been going for, with it being at such a cheap price, I would have just went ahead and went on PlayStation Network and got it. But then again, I probably wouldn't have, because you know how I am about stuff like that and digital stuff and whatnot. But honest to God, I thought the stuff was going to be on the disc. But that pretty much ended up teaching me a lesson that, yeah, that wasn't the case. But if I would have known that, I would have just went ahead and, if I wanted to get it, I would have just went ahead and got the season pass off of PlayStation Network, because I think it was like $14.99 or something like that. So I actually would have came out cheaper if I would have went ahead and got that. But it's all well and good. You know, it's no big deal to me. I got another copy of this, and I mean, it is a fun game for what it is, for sure. But yeah, the artwork on the front is really wicked as well. I don't think that there isn't anything on the inside. There's not. There was just a paper pamphlet in there with the season pass and all that stuff, and I already redeemed that. And you know, the game itself is in there, and it just says Royal Edition on the front. It just doesn't say the regular Final Fantasy 15 like it does on the Focus, okay, on the regular standard edition. So yeah, I kind of made a mistake getting this. Obviously I'm not going to sell it. Well, if I do, well, I can't, because if I do, then I would have to end up selling it for much lesser the price than what I think that I should sell it at, because the fact of the season pass, they would have to go online to get the season pass to even be able to use it, because it's supposed to come with that. So yeah, sad day for that. But oh well, you know, sometimes you have buyer's remorse, sometimes you don't. But I really didn't know that was going to be the case until I really got it home and tried it out for myself. But I learned my lesson when it came to that. But anyways, yeah, so that is all the little pickups that we got going on here for right now. And I'll go ahead and end this like I always do. Later, taters. Bye bye bye.